Welcome into NBC Sports Washington. We picked up the 2017 Cup Series champion, Martin Truex Jr., out of the streets of D.C. You went to Ben's Chili Bowl right before this, right?
Yeah, I had one of them half-smoked.
Whatever it's called.
It's pretty good.
You went there for the ambiance, though, not for the food.
Well, apparently it's it's a big deal, and I got to meet a lady one of the owners, the family owners, and she's been working there for like 60 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool story, and famous go-to spot, and it was good too.
I've never been, and I've lived here all my life. I got to check it out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some cupcakes and popcorn after this to kind of wash that down, I heard. Hopefully, right?
Doesn't sound like a good combo.
No, not the most nutritious meal, but we got to feed you while you're here. All right, so let's talk about this year, Martin. You made a switch in the offseason from Furniture Row Racing to Joe Gibbs Racing, but it seems like the transition has gone pretty seamless. It's almost like you go from the satellite team to the mothership. How has the transition been?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel like it's gone well. Daytona obviously wasn't very much fun at all. We had a terrible weekend in general, terrible race, and it didn't get many points. But since then, it's been good. 2 second-place finishes, and we've been consistent. I feel like we're, maybe not quite where we want to be yet, but we're a brand new team. A lot of new people put together. And so it's just a building process, new cars this year as far as rules go, and trying to learn that, trying to figure out the new team, all those little things. So we're missing a few of the little details, but I feel like we're really close, and we've had a shot to win a few already. So that's a good sign, and look forward to see what we can do as we get down the road.
I feel like that just comes with time. But plus, even though you have all these new things going for you, a lot of things stay the same. You brought your crew chief Cole Pern with you. You brought a lot of crew members. You brought Bass Pro auto owners with you. So it seems like almost everything's the same except the car number and the team and a couple loose ends here and there.
Yeah, I mean, a few different team members, a few different guys. And then just being in a different place is a little different. Working with Coach and everybody there has been really awesome. I know being here in Washington, I'm sure a lot of Joe Gibbs fans around here. It's been really just cool to see how he does things and be a part of that team and see. You wouldn't believe just how in-depth and how involved he is. He literally runs that whole place.
Really?
He's there every day. If he's not meeting with a sponsor somewhere, he's in the shop, talking to the guys. What do you guys need? What can we do to get better? This and that. So it's been fun to just to be part of that and know that, I work for him, and if I need anything, I just go to Coach and be like, hey, this is what I need. And man, he's just such an awesome guy. So that's been really fun, a good fun part of it. And yeah, everything's going really, really well. So it's been awesome.
It's kind of different working for Joe Gibbs than Barney Visser because one, you're not going to be able to get out to Denver every day with Furniture Row, and he doesn't have his boots on the ground every single day, and you guys aren't talking in person. So has that change been a good thing for you?
So far, yeah. I mean, it's been fun. So I grew up building my own race cars, working in the shop, doing all that stuff. And then when I all the cars I drove in North Carolina, there was, I lived 20, 30 minutes away, whatever. You get up on Monday, you go to the shop, you see the guys, say what's going on, what we working on. And I like cars, I like parts and pieces, I like to look at stuff. It's been hard the last couple of years, I only got out to Denver maybe 4 or 5 times a year. The whole season.
36 race schedule, that's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
And now every Monday I'm in the shop, just to have a meeting and just walk through and just to say hi to the guys. So it's definitely neat, and I think it's important to be able to see the guys, especially the ones that don't travel.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that aren't on the road a lot, so you just walk around and thank them for their hard work and all that stuff's pretty good.
It's specifically important this year with this new rules package as well. The fan reaction has been one thing, right? We know we're going to have Twitter trolls all over the place saying whatever they want. Yeah. But it's a different perspective from the driver's seat. You've been doing this for 6 races now. How does it compare to last year, and what are your thoughts on it as a whole?
Well, it depends on the track, and so the way we race, the way that you have to drive the car, how much the draft comes into play, how much handling comes into play, all that is so track dependent. So you look at Atlanta, it looked like Atlanta before.
Nothing changed.
It's California, it was similar. We're all a little closer together, but it's similar. Vegas, it was like, whoa, what is this? We're all on top of each other.
The leader couldn't get away in the last 100 laps. I didn't think
That's right.
What was it? Logano was leading by like 2 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close finish. This weekend at Texas, I think is going to be a wild one. They're putting VHT all over the racetrack, all but the bottom groove. There's going to be lots of options, and I feel like it's going to be a chaotic race. It's going to be some crazy restarts.
Yeah.
It's going to be, 4 wide at times. I mean, it's just going to be nuts. So I think we'll get a real good idea of what it looks like this weekend. But it depends on the tracks, And then, of course, we have the high downforce stuff at the short tracks with more horsepower like we had last year. And that's a whole nother different beast. So I don't know. It's been fun so far. I think the racing's been good. I think the 1.5 mile package is better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be too easy to drive. It hasn't been.
Okay.
It's been fun to drive. It's been challenging, especially the tracks we've been to so far. So I think everything's going okay, and we'll need to maybe tweak the short track package a little bit as we go, and a road course package, just see what it looks like with some more races. But I think we're going to need to work on that some.
It seemed like Phoenix was tough to pass, and even Martinsville last weekend too. I mean, Kyle finished third, your teammate. He said that it was just so hard to pass after 10 laps on tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We made all these changes to make the big track racing better.
Right.
And then, the owners didn't want 2 completely different car setups, so they could try to contain the cost somewhat. And now we're back to like the 2014 amount of downforce at the small tracks and the road courses. Well, 2014 was a bad season. We went low downforce to get away from that, to make the racing good. So trying to make the 1.5 miles and 2 mile tracks better, the short track stuff kind of took a hit, and that's disappointing. So I think, as we get down the road, I think NASCAR is going to figure it out, and we're going to go back to less downforce for those tracks. But until we get there, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, in racing, it's all about, from my perspective, it's all about making the best of every situation. My job is not to talk about the rules, worry about what they are, say what they should be.
You just shut up and drive.
That's right. I get paid to win. I get paid to figure out how to be better than everybody else, and that's what I'm focused on. So I'll let the other people worry about the rules and what they're going to be, and I'm going to worry about how I beat everybody.
Well, you beat everybody pretty good in 2017. Let's go back there for a second. That was your championship season, obviously. I want you to take me to Homestead. When you park the car on the front stretch, you're still wearing your Hans Weiss, wearing your helmet, the adrenaline's pumping. What's the feeling like when you get out of the car, you raise your hands above your head, you got your team with you, you got Sherry with you, and you are a Cup Series champion? Like, that's the pinnacle of North American motorsports, man. Like, that's it.
I mean, for me, in the world, I mean, that's it. So I can't explain it. I mean, how do you explain something like that you dreamed of for years and years, and at times thought it's probably not ever going to materialize? I mean,
especially with your situation being pretty unique.
Yeah, I mean, there was times when I was like, man, I still want it, but I just don't know if it's ever going to happen, And so to get it, it was pretty amazing, and I can't explain the feeling. I mean, the emotions. I was just a wreck. I couldn't even talk. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what was going. There was people everywhere. It was just crazy, and a special moment. My dad was there. Like, one of the first people I seen Sherry, seen my dad, Johnny Morris from Bass Pro. All those people that, were so influential to me and inspirational, and just without them, I wouldn't be there. So just a super awesome moment. It's one of those ones where you wish you could like freeze time and just soak it in, or like store it somewhere. So if you want it to feel really good, you just go back to that moment, because it was incredible. Very incredible, very lucky.
And to have Sherry with you there, too. I mean, I'm sure that made it so much sweeter. She's battled ovarian cancer since 2014. You guys have been so public, open, and courageous with her battle and sharing your guys' story. Having her there, I mean, that must have just made the waterworks accelerate.
Yeah, for sure. It did, and the fact that she was there and healthy, and of
course,
the last year and a half, 2 years has been really good for her and for us, and I just the feeling of accomplishment, but also the feeling of just knowing how lucky you are, in that moment, like, this is so special. Just take it all in, and I definitely think it meant more because I've seen what she's went through.
Absolutely.
And I kind of went through with her, but not anything like like she's been through. So I've learned a lot from her as a person, and grown a lot, and that, I think, just made it all that much sweeter, to be able to get it.
Speaking of family, we were talking off camera. Your brother Ryan running part-time deal this year with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, but you get pretty nervous watching him, don't you?
Oh man, how'd you know that?
I know my stuff. Come on.
You've been studying.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. So when ran Phoenix a couple weeks ago.
Right. Finished second.
And me and Dale, Dale Jr. texting during the race. I'm sweating. I'm like, I can't sit still. This is me trying to watch the race. I'm like, oh my God. I get up, I'm down. I get up, I'm walk around, I sit down.
So you're a wreck.
I'm just a mess when he races. I get so nervous, and I'm so worried, and I want him to do good, and it's such a big deal. I'm terrible at watching. Absolutely terrible.
Does Sherry give you a bunch of crap for it too?
She just laughs at me. She's like, she says, I go through this every single weekend.
Watching you.
Watching me.
That's funny.
Yeah, so now I know how it feels.
It's never going to change, is it? You're always going to be rooting for him that hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's my little brother.
Of course.
I want the best for him, he's had a tough road, so hopefully
Absolutely.
he can put it all together someday soon.
So a couple days ago, Martin, 2020 schedule was announced.
Yeah.
I think your face kind of says it all. We saw some big changes. I don't know about you. I was expecting some change.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a doubleheader at Pocono.
Yeah.
Darlington opening up the playoffs. Martinsville night race. Daytona being the regular season finale. I mean, out of all of those changes, and there's way more too, what stands out to you as the biggest change, and what are you most excited about?
Well, the biggest change is the finale, Phoenix. Instead, taking it from Homestead, moving Homestead early in the year, and then doing Phoenix as the championship race. That's a huge change. But there's a lot of really good stuff on there, as you mentioned. All the stuff you mentioned, I think, is awesome. The fans are going to love it. I think everybody's already excited about it. As a driver, I'm a little nervous about it. It's like, we're after the drama. We're after, wild, crazy, unknown, finishes where you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't like that. I want to control as much as I can and be able to do that. So Daytona in the regular season, that's just crazy. But it's good because I think we have potential of having somebody spoil the party, maybe knock out somebody. The 3 elimination races are just. I'm growing gray hair right now thinking about them. You seen what happened to us at the Roval last year, last corner, last lap. That's going to happen. That is. Elimination race.
It's going to be crazy. Plus, you got 2 short tracks in there in Bristol and Martinsville.
I know, and Bristol's an elimination race.
Yeah, so is Martinsville.
So is Martinsville.
It's crazy, and we saw what happened to you the last year too. Man, I'm stressing him out.
Oh my God!
You're getting, it's like you're going through your mind right now. You're like, okay, now it's actually hitting me that this is going to be crazy.
It's going to be nuts.
Well, there also might be some even bigger changes coming down the road next year because Steve Phelps said, everything's on the table. We're talking midweek races, dirt races, might go to more road courses, more short tracks. I mean, where do you stand on that? Are you up for everything on the table?
I am. I think it's fun. It's fun to do all that stuff. I know been a lot of talk about Nashville Fairgrounds coming back. Marcus Smith, SMI, they bought it. They're working on it. Historic track. I'd love stuff like that. I think that would be great. And of course, Nashville, we're going there for the banquet this year. NASCAR country music, they go together like peas and carrots, peanut butter and jelly.
Whatever you want to say.
And,
Ben's Chili Bowl in D.C.
Yeah. So, it's just all those kind of things are cool. Road courses are a lot of fun. I love road racing. I love all racing, but there's just a lot of stuff right now to get excited about in NASCAR, and I think they're doing a good job of leading the ship. And next year, who knows what we're going to see.
So you're here in the D.C. area promoting the upcoming race at Richmond Raceway, the Toyota Owners 400. I want to go back 14 years, if you can remember that far back, to 2005.
Yep.
The then Busch Series race, now Xfinity. You took a wild ride. You were on your side going down the backstretch.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that night?
The biggest thing I remember, aside from being really pissed off.
Yeah, you were very upset.
I think I actually got in trouble for flipping somebody the bird on the
I'm not surprised
I went
about
out on
that.
the racetrack. Anyway, the part about that ride that I remember the most was all the sparks. Because I was, door side down.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm the ground's right here. My head, like here's the ground.
It's like in Talladega Nights in real life.
Yeah, scraping down the backstretch, and it was so bright because all the sparks.
Yeah.
At the door, and I'm like, just don't catch on fire. Like all I was worried about the whole time was catching on fire. Just sparks. It was like fire going down the
It's
side
like stuff
of me.
you see in Hollywood, but this is real life.
It was real life. That's all I remember is the sparks. And then I got to where I got to turn 3, and it kind of like started to roll down on the wall a little bit, and I turned down and got it off the wall.
I think you tried to make it down to pit road, and then you just called it quits. You're like, nah, this is enough for the year. I'm done with that.
I think this thing's done. So
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
You've had a lot of success at Richmond, but the thing is, you've never won in the Cup Series. You've led a ton of laps.
Yes.
You've won Busch Series races there, Xfinity Series races. What's it going to take for you to finally get that win? And what makes that track so tough?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. The track is tough just because it's demanding on your driver on a car. You have to go fast. You have to push hard. Yeah, it's a kind of a finesse track. So it's really, there's a real knack to getting around that place good, and I feel like we figured that out, not only from a car setup perspective, but me, I feel like behind the wheel, I can go there and I know what I need to do to be really fast. And as you said, the last couple of years, we've led tons of laps. We led the most laps in, like, I don't know, 3 out of the last 5 races there. Some crazy, I mean, a lot of laps led. And it just comes down to the end and something happens, you know? So I guess we need a little bit of lady luck. We need to make sure on that last pit stop we come out first and not second, third, things like that. We've had those issues. So I don't know. Hopefully this is the time. I'm excited about going. It's a great track. The fans they're awesome. It puts on a hell of a show under the lights at night. And we'll see if we can get it done.
It's the action track for a reason. They got a ton of new amenities and everything, so it should be a really fun show.
Yeah, the infield, the garage, the fan access, it's incredible. I mean, literally they walk by all day, and I'm trying to get in and out of the car and talk to my crew chief, and there's like people just standing all there watching you and yelling at you and giving them autographs. So it's like being right there on the field during the game. You know, it's crazy.
It's unprecedented access.
It is.
That's what you get in NASCAR. All right, you kind of mentioned Dale Jr. earlier and how being in the D.C. area, it's all Redskins. Coach Gibbs here.
Yeah.
So this is my question, dude. You're an Eagles fan, right?
I am.
Okay, you're best friends with Dale Jr., who's an avid Redskins fan.
Yeah.
You drive for Coach Gibbs.
Yeah.
What's gonna take for you to transfer to Skins fan? I mean, come on.
I don't know, man. I'm not a sellout.
You're an Eagles diehard.
I grew up, you know. I've been since I was a kid, so yeah. Stay true to your roots.
And you're a Flyers fan. You met Gritty recently, didn't you?
I met Gritty. That was fun.
Were you scared? Because I was scared for you.
A little bit at first, but then he was pretty cool. You know, the eyes freak me out. They're
I can't
spinning around, being all weird. But it was a lot of fun to meet him. It was cool.
Martin Truex Jr., 2017 Cup Series champion. Thanks so much for spending some time.
Absolutely, bud. Good to see you.